Welcome back to another episode of the Participation Trophy Podcast. This is episode 6. As always, I've got my friends Jamal, Neil, and Zain with me. And this past weekend, Abdullah celebrated his almost 40th birthday with 5 days of gifts, frankincense, and myrrh.
We right there, man.
Let's
right there. We right there. Right before right there, man.
Let's talk about this week-long celebration that goes along with your turning 30 something.
A real bender right here.
Go ahead, fire away.
It's not even as close.
The floor is yours, Senator.
It's not even as close as glamorized as you guys are making it to be. I mean,
Jamal, you'll have 2 minutes for rebuttals.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. No, the birthday extravaganza. It started out pretty chill. Just to prelude a bit, I'm a mama's boy, so traditionally the official birthday is always at mama's house. She cooks me an assortment of different foods that I enjoy.
Assortment, a smorgasbord, different delicacies.
Shout out, this is Sheree.
The actual
your folks are all your mom's close to you, right? Local.
Yeah, she's about 10 minutes away, and Joe can attest to that assortment of food I was referring to. I think you get a free dinner at least once a week, right?
Bro, it spoils the shit out of my kids left and right. Like I can't even feed my kids my rice anymore because mom's rice is the only rice that they eat. So it's like, hey guys, I'm cooking chicken and dinner tonight, and they're like, oh, is there rice? I'm like, yo, no, there's no rice. Mashed potato. No, I want mom's rice. So I appreciate it, man. Like, I got to go over there and bother her 2 times every other week. Can you please cook some rice for my kids because they won't eat my food anymore?
Yeah. No, low key, the only reason why we even take Zara over there is because of the occasional free dinners we sneak out about. Pick her up.
Anyway, continue.
The official shindig was actually on Saturday night at my mother-in-law's. She's out in Manassas, has a pretty big house, large driveway, a couple acres of land and shit. So we set up shop there, a couple tents, a little bit of lighting, good spread of food and some appetizers.
Yo, y'all be doing it, man. Like I check your stories, like it's always like 30 people deep.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's
gonna masks, of course.
Everything, literally everything has been set up outside, and so
lit.
So drinks, of course, and it's like 9 p.m. We're like 4 hours in, everyone's vibing, just drinking, bullshitting. And I mean, fellas, at our age, when we're usually vibing like that in a get together, we're kind of just like casually gliding into like incoherency, but then randomly that random 22-year-old shows up and is like, yo, where the shots at?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And listen, and it's all good because as soon as somebody brings up shots, there's no way you're fucking refusing that shot. So mind you, there's only bottles of vodka and whiskey at the drink table, and my wife's uncle, who to many of you is famously known as the Afghan Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. I didn't want to jump the gun and say it, but I was hoping you would come through with that. Okay. Yeah.
Listen, this dude is funny. So he genuinely thinks there's no other type of shot other than a tequila shot, right?
Okay.
So like there's no other alcohol that's acceptable to take a shot with other than tequila. Like he's just
kinda,
like this.
He's kind of right though. He's kind of right.
So he shows up to the drink table and all he's like, "Wait, you taking shots with vodka? Wait, with vodka? Hell no! I'm gonna be right back." This motherfucker goes to his car, half a bottle of 1800 Coke.
He keep that thing on him.
Wait, coconut. That sounds good.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man. 1800 is not exactly.
I went from 60 to about 100.
Oh shit!
Right?
Real quick.
Listen, I'm tired, man. I'm worn out.
Yeah.
I'm knocking 40's door down. I got a 4-year-old. I got a pregnant wife. I got work deadlines. I'm a Dolphins fan. It's just fucked up. Right? So 2 shots in, and the rest of my birthday was relayed to me through fucking Instagram stories. So,
the cake to the face, was that this year? The cake to the face, was that this year or was that last year?
That was
years ago, right?
Quarantine time is throwing everything off.
Yeah, that was a flashback.
Oh, that was from previous years. Okay, so you didn't take a cake to the face this year.
You saw that on my sister's story. Yeah, that's where you saw that. No, I didn't take a cake to the face this time. Okay. I don't even remember blowing the candles. It's funny though, like when I quote unquote black out, like I don't really black out. Like I'm not incoherent in the moment. Like apparently
incoherent.
I put my kid to sleep.
Yeah.
And apparently I scooped her back up and put her in the car seat.
That's kind of what this shit is. I mean, I've never passed out. Like I had to learn the difference between blacking out. So your shit just gets spotty after 10 p.m. and then like pass. I don't got to fucking pass out anywhere before. Like I've been drunk and like gently laid down, fully clothed on the floor. But I've had boys that hit the fucking floor at a party, you know,
right, yeah.
Just gone, like collapse against some shit, like falling against a wall. Yeah, I've never had that happen, but yeah, that spottiness, that your shit just kind of like your signal fades out and shit, like over the course of the night.
Like in the living moment, you're not incoherent at all. Apparently, because everything was relayed to me again the next day. Apparently, I even like entertained two of my friends that missed the party and came to my house after the whole shit. And apparently, I smoked them out when we watched Ace Ventura. That's what I was told.
Okay, that's a lot. Yeah, see,
I plead the fifth. I have no idea what was going on.
You blacked out in multiple locations.
But my point is, it went well. Like everything, it was all love. Like it was all good. But I have no recollection of it.
Yeah.
Is there any one particular birthday that stands out to you other guys as like the craziest one? I mean, my 21st, I ended up in my fraternity brother's bathroom floor. I face down. It wasn't a blackout. It was just I remember being immobile. Like I couldn't. My body wanted to do. Okay, it reminded me of the scene from Wolf of Wall Street where he's like dragging himself from the car, like on Quaaludes. But like I felt the same way, but I couldn't move. Like I was literally just kind of and I just kind of resigned myself to, all right, I'm gonna pass out here and wake up in the morning and hate my life. And
22 was kind of like that for me. If I could bring up another Dayton story, because when I was 21, I was pledging, so I was.
Yo, Dayton, we gotta make a segment for Dayton.
That could be a whole fucking show. Like the shit I went through there.
Soundbite for Dayton. Zain on it.
Yeah. So I caught up and did 22 in a kind of big way. So we partied at, a friend's apartment and, fucked up off the cheap vodka again. Went to go to get a CD out of this is what year we're talking about. I went to go get a CD out of my car. For some reason, turned the fucking car on and passed out in the seat with the keys in the car running. And then end up coming back in, partying more, and then fell asleep on the friend's bathroom, like with one leg tucked under me in front of the toilet. Yeah. So I got up and had the motherfucking like the numb leg and shit, like the bum leg.
Oh my goodness.
That was pretty good.
It always ends up in a friend's bathroom, right? And that friend is your homie for fucking life. Like
always,
at that point,
yes,
you owe them or they owe you, however it transpired.
Yeah.
Thing, right. So
what I like is like the friend, the person doesn't quite know you, so like the associate, like, oh my god, he passed out like clothed, like. We got to get him up, and then your real friend will be like, he good, just fucking leave him there, like don't touch him.
What was Maul? What was the drink that did you in? I'm trying to. Sambuca. Sambuca was the one that it was the last two shots I took were Sambuca, and then everybody thought it was gonna be great because they're gonna, they light that shit on fire and like check this shit out, put it on fire, like now drink it, and it's like fuck, man, it was the last thing that went down.
Bacardi, I never want to smell, see, taste Bacardi Limon ever again. I have so many bad memories of that shit. It just it makes me retch when I come close to it. It's such terrible fucking liquor. I remember my niece brought some to my house once, and she was still in undergrad. And I just I said, you don't have to drink like this. Like, we've moved to a better place in our lives. You don't have to do this anymore. I want to rescue you from terrible shit. Don't ever bring that in the house again.
Bacardi Limon. Zain, have you had like some crack cookies or something?
Fuck you.
Cookies had me fucked
up. Cocaine brownies.
Like, both sound like Pusha T mixtapes.
Yeah, yeah. The white chocolate macadamia.
Bro, you can get food drunk. Don't even laugh about that.
After those gummies,
for
I'm
sure.
not touching shit.
Yeah.
That's it. Neil, what about you? Your 12th birthday was insane.
So we'll flip that around. Palindrome that 12.
Yo,
My 21st birthday.
Oh, put that
Build-A-Bear.
palindrome that 12.
hey, Joe.
Build-A-Bear in the face.
I'm gonna pull one of Neil's old fucking Facebook photos from 2011 now.
Fuck yeah.
We're gonna plug
Hey,
that.
I was the cutest kid.
The one in his karate outfit. That's the one I want to see.
Thing, please. I highly recommend you
24-hour
now.
Christmas story bunnies.
Yeah. In the living moment right now, Zain, I would love for you to get on fucking Neil's Facebook page and go on to his
Live reactions. He'll pull that up while I tell this story.
Fantastic.
So 21st birthday, some of my friends come over. So we're in an apartment in College Park, and we have no, peace to do the certain things that we want to smoke. And so my friend, the engineer in him, takes a water bottle, bottle cap, and he takes a red pen cap, literally a red pen cap, to make a jeeb. And they made me do 2 of those. The smoke was red. I saw the carcinogens in the. There was a point where they all left, and I was still sitting on the couch. Still, it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Yo, why does John look like Jokic? Like Jokic got shrunk.
Hey, I would love for my pickup game to be Jokic.
Oh my god!
Neil, please, for the level of everything that's good in this world, bring back the buzz cut.
You're the only one that likes it.
Bring back the buzz cut. Put like 2 rocks in your ears, man, and just
The big fab, the big diamond, like the big ass squares.
Yeah. You want to get a one-on-one with John Wall, bro? Bring back the buzz cut.
You gotta look the part, man. You gotta look the part.
You gotta look the part, bro.
That's the crap I freaking need. I need to get one-on-one with either John Wall or Bradley Beal before next season.
We're going to the barber next week. Bring your mask.
Kelly Oubre.
I got a Dominican dude. And that Dominican dude in Woodbridge I was telling you about.
You make him cut a line into it too. You put like a lightning streak. Zain, are you still looking at pictures?
Yeah, dude. That Jokic photo is fucking hilarious.
Oh, we'll have to include that in the blog post at APR.
Why?
So that concludes my birthday extravaganza, guys.
Well, actually, so I want to stick. Do you guys know of the fun fact about Abdullah? His little superpower that he has.
No, do tell.
Abdullah, 45-10 score. Final score.
Super Bowl.
Redskins Broncos Super Bowl. No, that's 42-10.
42-10.
I was trying to get him to show me he could even correct the score there.
Yeah, 42-10. 35 points were scored in the second quarter. Alone. Game was played a year ago. Super Bowl. What was that? That's Super Bowl 22.
Abdullah, what about Super Bowl 7?
That's an easy one, man. Come on. Undefeated Miami Dolphins season.
Ooh.
14-0.
I thought you were about to start some Rain Man, like random.
Yeah. Super Bowl 7.
So
it's
weird.
It's weird. Raining outside. 72 degrees. Winds from northwest. I think it's northwest. Three field goals. I think three field goals.
20 points,
One red shoe, one blue shoe.
Yeah.
That's attendance. The attendance that night. The over/under that night.
It's fantastic.
It was weird.
It's fantastic.
Skill. That's a great skill.
As I've gotten older, like a chunk of those Super Bowl just completely erased from my mind. Like between 10 and 15, I was struggling.
Get
So
that
I
motherfucker a memory card.
So I remember.
Upgrade that motherfucker memory
I
card.
can just like spit out still.
He's still working on floppy drives.
Right.
Trying to get that information. Yo, but so when I met Abdullah, like back in 2012-ish, 2011, right? No, we met in 2010, but like started kind of hanging out more as went on. I think it's the person who won't be named mentioned this skill, and I was like, dude, for the next like 7 minutes, I just rattled off all this shit from a book, and I was just like trying to like stump Abdullah, right? And
amazing.
It was just like he could do it on recall, and it was very. You're right. It was completely Rain Man, except he didn't have like the little, you did that really well, by the way, Jamal. Anyway, so let's go ahead and yes, that's the end of your birthday
I don't know why I imagine you quizzing Abdullah like that scene in Billy Madison where Chris Farley's stripping on the shirt. 2810. That is correct. I don't know why I came to mind.
That's Pete Sampras's wife, right? Isn't that
Oh yeah. Oh, not Bridget Nielsen. She's the Flavor Flav girl, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, we don't want to know her.
Bridget. Yeah, we don't want that.
Didn't she die? Didn't Bridget Nielsen
Wilson.
die?
Yeah,
Wilson.
she did. She did pass away.
Flavor Flav's girl?
Yeah, man.
Brigitte Wilson.
Brigitte Wilson.
Yikes, too young.
Brigitte Nielsen. Did she pass away?
I think she did. Yeah.
I thought she did too. But years active present, so I'm assuming not.
Man, talk about like bringing down this parade here. I'm like trying to fight over the NFL, and Zane's like, so you know who died?
I didn't say she died.
Somebody with some fake titties died. How about that?
On daily occurrence.
Let's
Put a
Google
pin in
it.
that. I gotta find that shit.
Deaths.
Fake,
2019.
yeah.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
Maybe I'm thinking of China. Didn't she die?
Sorry, do we fuck up your segue?
I mean,
They are discombobulated now. You don't know what to say.
All these people were at your birthday party, by the way. You just didn't fucking see them there.
Right. Yeah.
it's Brigitte Nielsen was there. That's hot.
Richard
Right,
Wilson.
It's fantastic.
All of them.
So yeah,
It was China that died. My bad. I'm sorry.
China. Okay.
China died.
You fuck
Chuck-
Joe,
the-
but you
the
fucked Joe up
wrestler.
again.
the wrestler.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. She passed away.
She was with the other wrestler. What was
Yeah.
She was with
Yeah.
X-Pac. No, she was with Triple H, and then
Yeah.
he left her for Stephanie, and then she had a sex tape with X-Pac. Why do I know all this? Do not ask.
Wow. The ninth wonder of the world, China, right?
The ninth
Definitely
wonder
a
of
sex
the world.
tape. Definitely a sex tape.
Yeah,
Definitely a
sex tape. Yeah.
definitely a
Oral
sex tape.
ejaculation. Yeah.
Definitely. 23 minutes long.
23 minutes, 39 seconds. Yeah.
I wish the podcast people could see my face because I have no.
Hey, check us out on YouTube if you want to see live facial reactions.
Speaking of ejaculation, our next segment.
He's on fire, folks. What did you have?
How do you even connect that to the Lakers?
The very
Because
easy.
the Lakers blew their load in game 2.
Yeah.
J.R. Smith, shooters
Yeah.
shoot.
But bunch.
The Lakers
Zay-
are, depending on where your stream is, the Lakers are up by 3.
Yeah, LeBron just hit a 3.
And
Which is good.
so
Nice.
3.
on that note, we'll jump into Open Gym. Jesus Christ, man. You guys just like kind of went off on the deep end over there. What
Making you earn your money there, Joe.
how did we get on Brigitte Nielsen again? What
Billy
I
Madison.
kind of
Oh, you were trying to, yeah.
Billy Madison
Spouse.
and then the girl who actually
Yeah.
did the
Yeah.
yes, I got
Yeah.
you. Okay. All right, guys. Back on track. Focus.
It's
Lakers-
called trickle down podcasting.
Lakers and the Heat. There's 65-64 on my screen right now. The series is 2-1 Lakers. What the fuck is going? Let's go to our lead basketball analyst, Zain. Zain, what is going on in this series? Tell us.
So right now, Lakers were up 2-0. Miami Heat had a bounce back game in game 3. Jimmy Butler took over, had 40 points, had a triple double. Jimmy Butler's performance was the only performance in LeBron James' career in which LeBron James was outpointed, out-rebounded, and out-assisted in an NBA Finals game. So, the Miami has a little bit of momentum, and you can see it trickling
Craig Sager over
into.
here.
Yeah, it's definitely trickling to game 4. Miami's playing with the better energy. Bam is back. So by the end of this pod, I mean, it's either going to be 3-1 or 2-2. I think we're all hoping it's 2-2 just for the sake of a competitive series.
More
some people
basketball.
more basketball, and some people like to harp on NBA ratings. So, hopefully we get a game 7 out of this.
Well, the series is shifted back to Miami being as the home team, so that helps. No, it
People
doesn't.
are putting Jimmy's
Sarcasm.
people are putting Jimmy's performance in there with
Yeah.
top 10 finals performances of all time, because I think he had he shot 70% from the floor too, right?
He was one of only 3 players in the NBA to have a 40-point triple-double and shoot 70% from the field.
That's
I believe
crazy.
it's Magic and Wilt were the only other 2 to do that.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Does anyone remember how many games you guys thought the Heat would win? Did everybody say one?
I think I said one.
I think mainly because it was like a gentleman's sweep, like 4-1.
I think you and I said 2, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted the Heat to win, period, but I didn't think that was going to be possible. But yeah, this is
the Heat got some swagger back, and like I said earlier, I wanted to see how their grit was going to, test the series a little bit, and Jimmy balled out, and now they're making those facial expressions and shit, talking that shit,
spitting on their own beards.
Right?
Jimmy, that slow mo of Jimmy spitting, like that shit was.
Like that's what they needed to get that boost. Because that's what they've been winning off of for the most part.
It's been
I know it was in the first quarter. I think the Lakers had the lead, and LeBron said to the Heat players, "You're in trouble now." Yeah, and then when Jimmy Butler, game 3, he said that you're in trouble now. He was screaming at him. So when Jimmy Butler, when they had the decisive lead in the fourth, he screamed he screamed back to LeBron, "You're in trouble now."
And you can find that video on hoop_district on Twitter.
There you go.
Fantastic. Good plug.
Nice plug.
For me, because I didn't know that part. I just thought he was just talking that shit. So that makes it even better.
So this series will be done by the next time we meet, right? Is that not correct?
That is likely.
Yeah,
yes.
Definitely should be.
Even if it goes 7.
Playing every other day.
Yeah, I think so.
Game 4. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then how long is basketball gone for? Neil, do you have the?
They're just going to push this out as long as they can because they're desperately going to try and get fans to the stands, whether that means they delay the season until February or March. These owners, they need their money. They're bludgeoning and bleeding money right now.
Money, I want it now.
What?
I want my money, I want it now.
So let me ask y'all a question. Do you think, because I heard of, it's not an upcoming rookie, but Marcus Hall already said he's playing overseas, at least to start next season. Do we see any trend of maybe rookies choosing to just go overseas just due to uncertainty about everything?
I don't know so much rookies, but what about NCAA freshmen?
Okay.
That makes sense.
What is the next thing on the timeline after game whatever ends?
The NBA draft in mid-November.
There's no combine?
Combine's going on right now.
Is an ongoing virtual combine where potential draftees can get medical examination in their local areas. They can conduct workouts that can be video transcribed to teams. They can conduct Zoom interviews. Okay. So the Wizards they've been doing that since, April. Supposedly, Tommy Shepard has already talked to 80 different potential players in this upcoming draft. So
because I assume he was working with the original timeline, so now that's just been pushed out indefinitely. Now I heard LaMelo Ball pulled out of the combine because I'm assuming he has a promise already, so there might be a little bit of that too.
Yeah, he was very hush-hush in his NBA combine media availability over Zoom. He wouldn't let know who he's talked to, who he's not talked to, but he did slip the Knicks as a potential team, but we'll see.
And the Knicks are like 5 though, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how
he's
that all shook
that far.
Agreed.
And so you said the draft is November?
November 19th, I believe.
Man, that's right before Thanksgiving too.
That's fucking dope. I'm with
that. That's actually really good news to hear that November is next month, because then 2020 can fucking end with quickness, with absolute quickness. All right, so that's Wizards. John Wall looks shredded, by the way. Again, I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, but
I saw it. Yeah,
greatest offseason player of all time.
John Wall.
First summer of separation, then there was Wolf Wall, and now it's one more time.
No matter what, we will always have John Wall off-season workout videos.
He drops like a nice off-season, like just like his Holy Rams high school like hoops mixtape.
Yeah,
we get a nice John Wall off-season.
And I love,
his hoop mixtape came into the conversation a couple weeks ago because somebody was talking about the greatest high school mixtape.
He might have.
He does have
top five.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
For me, it's Wall. It's
insane.
Like Andrew Wiggins. It's like who's the real short dude that played in Baltimore? He's like 5'6".
Thomas.
He didn't pan out at all.
Yes.
Akil Carr.
Crime Stopper, right?
Yeah, bro.
He tried out the Go-Go last season. Funny enough.
Last season? Wow. I didn't know he was still hanging around.
You would go out to the Goodman and put on a nice little show too.
Akil Carr's a fucking beast, man. For real.
Especially for his size too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Abdullah's right, man. John is the king of these off seasons, man. He gets you so excited about what's coming, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's circumstantial what happens to him, and it's fucked up. But
Hey,
shout out to Bradley Beal though, because Bradley Beal put out these mixtapes and these workout tapes every summer too, and that motherfucker evolved, and we've seen that evolution. That shit is it's crazy, especially as injury prone as he was. I don't know how they got into a fucking Bradley Beal, fucking love fest, but fuck it. Yeah. Bradley Beal. Hey, we used to call him Brad. We used to call him Bubble Rap Brad over at Hoop District.
Stress fractures, man. They had too many stress
fractures. Yeah, they overplayed him.
I will say, shout out Jesse Phillips. He's on the medical staff with the Wizards now, and he works very closely with Brad. Does all his pregame exercises, warm-up stretches with him. Yeah. He came in with Scott Brooks, and ever since then, Brad has had no problem staying on the court. So something's definitely working there.
It's crazy, man.
Brad got 2 kids. That's what he's got now. That's
so does John.
That's a different lifestyle, bro. It's a completely different lifestyle. All right, so that's the one team on one side of the bridge. Let's talk about the one over in Ashburn. They played a game again this last week, and I have many things that I could say, but I'm gonna pass this one to Zain because I know Zain's got a little bit of a rant to go on, if you would.
A diatribe, a rant, a monologue, a soliloquy. I'm not sure what you would call it. But the last few years being a Skins fan has been extremely stressful, and I think this last year is the year that I finally started to feel like I was interested again. You know what I mean?
Ron Rivera and all that shit.
Yeah, and to an extent, I'm still optimistic, but there's just been some things that have been happening, from the fan base and the media and surrounding that have just, have frustrated me. And the elephant in the room. Well, I didn't want to say the elephant in the room. I mean, there's a lot been going on with Rivera and his timeout situation and the statements he's made on the development of the team. And obviously Haskins has been at the forefront. Every day there's a new report. And just, I like to be thorough. I'm not the kind of person, I think nowadays we just say someone's terrible or someone's great, right? There's no in between. There's no variables. There's no circumstances. So, going into Haskins, and this is not a endorsement or indictment on anybody, but Haskins last year, he wasn't Jay Gruden's guy, right? Mm-hmm. He was part of the coaching staff that was part of the draft, but apparently it's not someone that they wanted. So he got no first team reps. He didn't have much of a training camp. He was below average, but he progressed. He had 2 head coaches during that year, essentially 2 different offensive coordinators. He had all rookie receivers. Mm-hmm. He had a tight end named Jeremy Sprinkle. Shout out to Jeremy Sprinkle. I don't know him, but whatever. And a below average defense, right?
Is he better than Logan Thomas?
Is he better than Logan Thomas?
Well, Logan Thomas is getting the PT right now.
He's getting the PT right now, right? So, but either way, there's a lot of hate for Haskins off the top, and I get it, but Haskins got better every game in his last 5 starts. The last few weeks of the season, he had one of the highest completion percentages in QB ratings, right? Stats aren't everything. I understand that. There's context to everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not into PFF ratings. Those are very flawed, but compared to Minshew, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Haskins was second behind Minshew, right? Mm-hmm. But this narrative exists around Haskins that didn't with the other QBs. Daniel Jones had 18 fumbles last year.
18?
Boy, do I know.
18 fumbles.
Boy, do I know.
Yeah.
18 lost fumbles or 18 fumbles?
11 lost fumbles, 18 fumbles.
Wow.
18 fumbles, not going to get into the interceptions. Carson Wentz had 16. Mm-hmm. So either way, most of the time the Skins were down in the score, and Dwayne threw a lot of garbage time, stat padding, trying to get some points on the board, but he threw a lot of intermediate downfield passes. He obviously struggled throughout the season, but he progressed. His last 4 games, he threw for 1 pick total. His completion percentage went from 52 to 59 to 67 to 80% in his final game. Okay. His QB rating went from 69 to 74 to 121 to 143 in those last 4 games. I'm not saying he turned into Mahomes or Rodgers or whatever, but progression, right? That's what we look for. We look for progression, minor improvements, right? So now 2020. After only having 7 starts of playing in 9 games total, he's on his 3rd head coach, his 2nd offensive coordinator, his 2nd offensive system, his new QB coach, 4 new running backs he's never played with, a tight end that used to be a QB that he's never played with, Logan Thomas. He's lost 3 of his offensive linemen. He's never played with Trent Williams. He's lost Brandon Scherf. He has 2 new rookie receivers that are getting heavy PT. His other 2 best receivers are in their second year in the league. Their only veteran receiver is Dontrell Inman, who's played very well this season, but I'm assuming, just
is
like
on his 7th different team.
7. I watch a lot of football. I've never heard of Dontrell Inman as good as he's played. No traditional offseason, no preseason, and before he even goes to his 12th start in a rebuilding year in an offense that the Ron Rivera himself says won't be at full strength until 2021, and a team's culture that he stated would take 2 to 3 years to rebuild, the fans want him benched. And then the coach says we support him. The next day he says we don't know, which I'm assuming is based on film, right? Then the next week a report comes out, that's saying he could get benched unless he gets better fast.
Did you see the fucking headline today?
What was the headline today?
That apparently Mike Florio says that he suggests the Washington football team, should start Alex Smith and bench Haskins.
I'm glad you
NBC
said that.
NBC Washington, of course, pushes the fucking headline. So
I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna get to Alex Smith.
But Florio said it though.
Who has went through so much this last year, but I'll get to him in a second. Right. Okay, but we've already gone through all of the things that have gone against Dwayne Haskins. Not saying it's the Redskins' fault, but these are circumstances. And in today's day and age, it's who cares? You got to get shit done, right? This person did that. Comparison is the thief of joy, right? But we have to analyze Haskins, right? So he says, he throws 3 picks in that Cleveland game. He has to get better fast. He comes out, throws his career high 32 for 45. Obviously, a lot of these were screen passes. A lot of these were yak, right?
How many yards did he throw for?
345.
First 300-yard game.
Yeah, first 300-yard game. Yeah.
A lot of that is garbage time as well, though.
I wouldn't say it's garbage time as much as it's all screen passes.
Okay, finish your thought.
But yeah, so either way, right? He throws for his career high in yards per attempt, yards, completions, dink and dunk, be damned. Converts the first bomb to McLaurin and Ages, has 0 turnovers compared to the 3 he had the week before against the best defense he's played all year. Shows some improvement as minor as it is. And this is all his fault, right? This is the spin that's being put on it. The Redskins were projected to be a 3 to 5 win team this year, right? The fans were understanding towards a rebuild when we got Rivera. Oh, we got Rivera. He says it's going to take time. Oh, yeah, we're here for it if it takes time and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but then we win one game where we have 9 sacks and everyone in the division loses. And now it's bench Dwayne and let's win the division. For what? Win the division for what?
You play to win the game.
You're not going to win this division as shitty as it is with any of the 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
Even if you did, you're going to get slaughtered in the playoffs. What did that Kirk Cousins playoff win get us? Nothing.
This one won't even get you playoff revenue at this point if there are no fans in the stands.
It's not going to do anything. He doesn't throw the ball downfield to make plays, bench him. Oh, he's forcing the ball, trying to make too many plays, bench him. Oh, those 3 plays he did something bad, bench him. We could win the division. We can't. And even if we could, who cares? You want to win more games with this mediocre, lackluster roster. You realize last year winning 1 less game, what's the difference between getting Chase Young and not getting Chase Young?
Exactly.
That's the kind of discipline.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that Giants game we blew it.
They wanted us to win that game.
So
what?
Damn everybody. All right, forget everybody. Right? We know that I keep saying Redskins. We know that the Washington football team is.
That's okay on this podcast.
What is the foresight?
Here's the thing,
right? Without all the bullshit,
before we get into it, right? I just want to shut down all of these narratives that are being peddled in the media. And by the fan base.
Go ahead.
Okay? Because, I have these arguments all the time, and they just doesn't make sense, right? But, Rivera might lose the locker room because players want to win now. That's the narrative that's being pushed. Who are these players?
Right. Exactly.
It's like when somebody says, well, the public is outraged. Who is the public? Who are these people? Landon Collins, who's probably by his own admission. Yeah, that's fine. He got a $70 million contract. He's made some plays, but he's also missed some plays. He has a lot of room for improvement. That's fine. Troy Apke, he's ready for prime time. Sean Dion Hamilton, he these are all good players. They've done good things, but are these players, pleading to, we have to win now? You know what I mean? Are the 5th and 6th round picks begging, oh, yeah, we have to win now. I don't like this. 90% of these players who I would love to see next year on this roster, they're not guaranteed a roster spot next year just based on the status of the team.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
If you were to name the 4 or 5 players that have any say, Kendall Fuller, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Terry McLaurin, Chase Young are the only players that you will probably say for sure will be on this roster next year. And 4 of those guys are rookies.
Antonio Gibson.
Yeah. And Antonio Gibson is great, but if he doesn't play as well the rest of the year, will you be surprised? I love Antonio Gibson. When they drafted him, I was super high on him. I still am. But at the end of the day, like, anything can happen, right? These are the only players that have a documented track record, right?
Abdullah's
what's Kerrigan's situation? Is he at the end of his deal?
Abdullah's retire Redskin, and he's fine with whatever playing time he gets.
Okay.
Called it.
You know what I'm saying? But being worried about losing your rookies because you're losing games is like being worried that your like 8-year-old daughter is going to move out the house because.
So honestly, I get everything you're saying, and I totally agree with you in it. We get caught up in narratives, and we get caught up in the fucking bullshit and the fake hype, this, that, and the other stupid headlines, right? As a fan, when you're looking at your team, at the outlook, at the immediate future. With Haskins involved. Well, with Haskins involved, right? So you named all the players that the Redskins should retain, right? A lot of them young guys, but developmental, headed for stardom type of guys, right?
Yes. So
where else can the Washington football team target salary cap, free agents?
You want me to get to
He needs a playmaker. Offensively, like, listen,
you need a lot.
whether it's on the offensive line, whether it's a tight end, whether it's a wideout, slot receiver, running back, there needs to be some solidified star talent on that offensive side. Right now, they're working with guys that are that are showing promise. I love watching McLaurin play. I love watching Gibson play. Right, those guys, you know, like we were talking about yesterday. There's only a certain number of plays that you can run for those kind of guys to excel in that offense with Haskins throwing the ball. You know, the screen patterns, screen patterns, crossing patterns, slam.
Admitted.
Yeah, those are easy passes. Those are easy passes for Haskins. And they produce a lot of yards because guys like Gibson, guys like McKissick, guys like McLaurin,
but he's not throwing the ball downfield. He's not throwing the ball downfield.
I don't think he's mechanically sound enough to throw the ball downfield.
No, I think he's not mechanically.
No, I'm not saying he's bad. That's fine.
He's sound, but he's just choosing for whatever reason to not throw the ball down.
Okay.
Right? Whether or not he has an arm, he can get the ball downfield. I understand it would be a perfect pass.
Bad choice of word. I probably meant like fundamentally sound to be able to, like you said, choose a receiver downfield, do the check down, you know, this, that, and the other. But
so I heard this morning that somebody was making a comparison to Justin Fields, and they said that although Haskins like had these crazy numbers at Ohio State, in reality, his passes a lot of them were screens. There were screens and slants, and allow the players to do the rest of the dirty work, which I guess over here you can do that in the NFL. That is, you can do that to an extent, but you can't get away with an entire offense predicated on that. You've got to be able to toss the ball down the field. And, you know, from being there, you see it a little bit differently, like, because I don't have the noise of the announcer telling me what it is I should look at on TV. So I'm just kind of like focused in on singular players at times. And I can just tell you, like, the players, yes, every wide receiver knows that they're wide open every single play, right? Any wide receiver thinks that they're open every single play. These players, there's opportunities to get them the ball. He is not doing them. And he's not taking those chances. And there was one play in particular, the Terry McLaurin bomb, and Terry got up and he was visually excited about it. And Dwayne came up and was semi-excited about it. And it was a point where, like, Terry was just trying to, like, get him to get excited about it. And even after Haskins scored that touchdown that he did on that run, he still didn't, he was walking the ball out of the end zone in this, like, just kind of defeated fashion. And again, Terry was in on his ass, like, telling him, dude, let's go, like, wake up. Like, it was almost like he was in this, like, daydream of a daze. It was kind of a weird thing to see.
So I noticed that play also.
Which one, the Terry?
No. I noticed the second play. I saw the Terry play where he motioned him, but I also noticed, and for what I'm not speculating. I just noticed that when Haskins scored the touchdown, none of his players immediately came up to him to I'm not saying it's what he expected. I'm just saying what I've noticed, right? Anytime the quarterback runs the ball, the entire team, the O-line runs up to him and, celebrates and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying I didn't see him looking. I didn't see the facial expressions he was making. So I'm kind of curious, like, what is the relation, like what's going on, in terms of relationship that he has with the rest of the team. That was my observation. I just noticed he was by himself.
Was voted a team captain at the beginning of the year.
Well, I mean, that happens sometimes. I mean, he has shown some leadership ability. Sometimes he has not, but he's shown, some of the intangibles. You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, and I'm going to wrap this up. I know I'm rambling, but I wanted to address.
This is a safe zone. You can get this out.
Yeah. I want to consolidate what people's criticisms are with Alex Smith. Alex Smith, I loved watching Alex Smith with this team. I think he was a great leader. I think he's helped a lot of the players grow, specifically the quarterbacks and the backup quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Redskins fans loved Alex Smith. Okay.
6-3.
6-3. That's the go-to line. Right? Now, Alex Smith was the check down king.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Shouldn't have
Alex
said that,
Smith
man.
Was not turning over the ball, right?
He was a game manager.
He was winning games, right?
Yep.
Shouldn't have said that, man.
Alex Smith won a game in 2018 against the Bucks when he had 178 yards passing, took 3 sacks, and only threw for 1 TD. Do you want to know how many yards the Bucks had against us that game where they lost 16-3 to us? They had over 500 yards.
500.
The Rams scored 54 points against the Chiefs and had less yards than the Bucks had against us in a game that we won 16-3. Okay,
this is your conscience.
Bend but don't break, baby.
Don't bring up 6-3.
No, but it's laughable. Okay, there was a game last year that we won in which Alex Smith had only 6 yards passing in the second half. 6. So what is the difference? Okay, in a year that we traded for a quarterback, right? He had the 7th highest guaranteed money contract for a QB and was bottom 10 in every passing statistic, and that's fine. But we were winning games. We were winning games because he leaned on the defense. He didn't turn the ball over, but he got the credit. Fans wanted him back. But for Dwayne Haskins, we're moving to different goalposts, right? And Alex Smith only had consistency in his career when he actually had the same offensive coordinator and coach for some sort of continuous amount of time, okay? And Alex Smith was a starter for 12 years, only threw for 4,000 yards once. Dwayne Haskins hasn't been a starter for 12 games and has had 3 coaches, 3 different coaches, 2 different offensive coordinators.
Can Alex Smith really play? Because I saw that video before the season started. He's looking like a fucking Slim Jim. Can he really get on the field?
No, Jamal, I want you to think about this from the outsider's perspective. They want Alex Smith to play on this team.
He will get murdered by that offensive line. His offensive line will give him up to the Wolves.
Yeah,
anyways, thanks for joining, Neil. We appreciate your time, sir. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? The Giants played the Rams, right? The Giants played the Rams, and Daniel Jones threw a pick at the end of the game. I watched that entire game, okay? He has a new coach, Joe Judge. If they don't believe in him, that's fine, right? But he threw a pick at the end of the game. The next day, the coach said, if you were asking if Daniel is our quarterback, Joe Judge said, Daniel is our quarterback. Yeah. That's who we were playing with. We support him. We have a lot of confidence in him. Execution is the most important thing. Every play, he has different options. He made the decision he made. We can't handcuff our quarterback by looking over his shoulder all the time and second guessing everything he does.
Yeah.
That sounds productive.
You can hear Jamal eye rolling right now as you're fucking.
No, that's fine. He's a Giants fan, but Jamal will tell you himself this team isn't going anywhere for the next 2-3 years.
Nowhere.
And if you go on the Giants Reddit, nobody is bashing Daniel Jones. There's not one post bashing him because they understand this. It doesn't matter if he's good or not, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no guarantee that their approach makes Daniel Jones a competent QB. But you know what? It ensures that he has the best chance to be a competent QB.
Right. Hey, Zain, you want to know who Daniel Jones' backup QB is? None other than Mr. Redskins, Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
But what would be the purpose of going to Colt McCoy in that situation?
The same thing can be said for Haskins, though. It's like, what is the purpose to switch to Kyle Allen or Alex Smith?
None.
Exactly.
None.
And I'm 100% with you there, Zain. Dwayne Haskins has the highest upside. Granted, we might not see, what that upside is. Maybe that is NFL QB or not.
At this point, he's a major project. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't work out, you probably get a top 5 pick. If he does work out, you got your QB. I don't understand the standard here. You know what I mean?
Like, the season is for.
Yeah.
Exactly. But all we won one game.
To do a shameless Dolphins plug. super shameless here. As good as Fitzpatrick has played for a 37-year-old, I know. Yeah, listen. No, because
Go ahead, I'm kidding.
I had to get a 2-0 plug in because and I'm being serious because as good as Fitzpatrick has played as a 37-year-old vet, I know that the larger outlook does not involve him. So as good as he's played, I yearn for Tua to play and be as bad as he wants to be, knowing that the project and knowing that the team's not going anywhere, like similarly to the Redskins or to the Washington team and Giants for a few years. So
yeah, and that's fine. I just don't understand. 1 week it's this is our plan, and then the next one the fans are like, we can win the division, let's go full throttle. Like it baffles me.
Rather have Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I'd rather.
That was almost rhetorical.
That was a question.
Rhetorical. My fucking brain started hurting.
I know that's how you cap off his rant by throwing Fitzpatrick in there. Is that nice? Is that
What I
we
will
doing?
say, I'll rather.
You tell me, do I?
I'd rather have Ryan Fitzpatrick and Dwayne Haskins than pay Kirk Cousins $80 million.
Yeah. No.
Kirk dog, man.
Say real quick before we get to Kirk.
Yeah, don't start with me on Kirk Cousins.
For another week.
You can't. No.
Kirk next week, man. Leave him alone this week, man.
Kirk gets a whole entire segment just to himself.
I think he's on primetime football next week against the Seattle Seahawks, so we'll have some good content about next week.
That's like
any
tomorrow.
player can succeed or has a better chance to succeed with proper development and building a good team around him, man. And I just don't understand why fan bases just expect like they expect a woman to open her legs on a table and Patrick Mahomes just fucking pops out and throws the ball to Tyreek Hill. Like, I don't understand. What is this?
What the fuck?
They think he just came out like that, and
That's what the whole rant was about this lady spreading her legs at the end. What the hell, man? How do we get?
How did Patrick Mahomes get in the conversation?
Yeah.
But it's like people watch Justin Herbert throw a touchdown pass. It's like, oh my god,
so good.
You did it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Would you be
He's
shocked?
So good.
Would you be shocked?
Justin Herbert was made in the lab. He was made in the lab.
6 weeks, he was throwing interception after interception. Would you be shocked?
Huh?
Would you be shocked if next year he was a third stringer? Would you be shocked based on what you see in the NFL?
Yeah, man. He threw this one pass.
Jamal.
Off his back foot, bro.
Jamal. Giants.
Yeah.
Giants. Bucks. Daniel Jones comeback. Daniel Jones comeback. What were you thinking?
I was excited, man. I was yeah.
He looked masterful.
No hyperbole, man. No hyperbole. Justin Herbert looks fucking good.
He does, but it's been 3 games.
Wait until the NFL gets some film on him.
Exactly. We'll just wait.
I'm talking about mechanics, man. Like if you know.
You just said he threw off the back foot.
He had to, but he threw it.
What?
Yo, imagine a pass. It's almost line drive off the back foot, and it still pin drops into your arms. It was magical, bro.
It was wide open though.
This thing got Abdullah aroused.
Keenan Allen forgot Phillip Rivers ever existed.
Please.
I forgot Phillip Rivers existed after that throw.
Oh, come on, LeBron.
So you're saying Tyrod Taylor's not getting his job back? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Tyrod, man.
I love you, Tyrod, man. I fuck with Tyrod, man, but you have to find a job. And
Tyrod Taylor going to be written off like Alex Smith in San Francisco.
Tyrod's going to find a job somewhere else next year, and the fucking locker's going to fall on him during training camp.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
Like, that's what kind of luck he has.
Fucking anvil's going to fall.
Oh, man.
Fucking walk off a cliff in the middle of the field.
Fucking Roadrunner.
Just a sinkhole underneath him at the practice field.
Sinkhole.
Poor guy, man.
Like Bane. They coming
Bane.
So how long does Haskins have in your book, Zain? Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap up this
year.
list.
Just give him the year.
Agreed.
If he's playing at the same level, then you can have a higher draft pick. If he shows moderate improvement, then you evaluate it then.
Abdullah, have you ever seen Dwayne Haskins throw a ball like Justin Herbert?
Have it ever mesmerized you?
He's got a good arm, but that throw was
I'll show you a better pass.
They no, the Keanu Reeves vibes,
I will send you a better pass.
With that hair, just it was something, man. It was really romantic. Like
those golden locks, like glistening in the sun.
Did you guys take Tua before him?
Yeah. We took Tua fifth,
and Herbert at 10.
6. No, I thought the Chargers had the next pick.
Oh, no, they took him that early. Maybe you might be right.
Yeah.
Last quarterback.
But Herbert was never on the Dolphins' radar. It was Burrow and Tua, but mostly Tua. I think they were sold on Tua very early.
Locked in on him.
Herbert was not super well regarded in the college. I watched him.
Yeah, was that?
So he wasn't super well regarded, and he had massive bust potential coming out of Oregon.
He jumped a bit though around in those first top. Like,
they all do. They all do.
Yeah, they do. But like Burrow and Tua were the runaway 1-2 quarterbacks.
Hands down.
Look,
right.
Real quick, as a non-football guy, I know Herbert played at Oregon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you were playing in that offense, that kind of maybe knock you down in the eyes of scouts?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. If you're not playing under center. Yeah. I think he took all his shot from the shotgun, right?
Shotgun, yeah, and the play call, it's not a pro style offense. I'm not sure if anymore it is, but it's usually not a pro style offense.
Oregon football is the one that uses all the like sign cards with disabled vets and like all sorts of like different signs, like McDonald's plus Wendy's.
I've never seen that before. I gotta look that up.
Bro, they use all sorts of like picture signs for their offense. So yeah, I don't think that shit translates to the NFL.
Yeah. The last quarterback they had was Mariota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's he backing up now? He's
Ryan Tannehill. Shout out Ryan Tannehill. Just took that man's job. Ryan Tannehill also. Shameless Dolphins plug. 4 offensive coordinators in 4 seasons. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna develop that way.
And look at him now.
Look at him
not
now.
Not for the Dolphins. Not for the Dolphins. Though.
He's got a exactly, and I'm happy for him. He's got a top 3 running back behind him. He's got 2 solid years with one, offensive coach, one scheme.
He doesn't have COVID, does
he? He doesn't. That's a good question.
Right.
He wasn't.
I don't even know if I've seen the roster of COVID.
Joe,
COVID detractors.
Joe, for your knowledge, Mariota's backing up Derek Carr in Las Vegas Raiders now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, another quarterback who was considered possibly a bust and has actually excelled recently. Same with Josh Allen.
Yep.
Oh, Josh Allen is tearing it up, and I love it because he's on my fantasy team.
And he was horribly inaccurate last year. Granted, he can run.
Is your hatred just because he's played for the Bills and division?
I have a very childhood, hatred for.
Zain, I thought it was only fitting that Josh Norman had a huge play in that game.
I was like, what the fuck, man?
That's the most Washington football team thing ever.
And I needed the Raiders to score, and because I had a wager, and Josh Norman fucking comes out of nowhere and punches the ball. I'm like, what is this shit, man?
And I heard the announcer say something reference to Peanut Tillman, and was like, oh, that's what Josh is known for. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I feel bad for those Bill fans getting all excited. Just wait a few weeks. My friends.
So, anyways, guys, that was a fantastic rant. Hopefully, we'll get an even better one, like on the positive. I want to hear you as a happy Washington football fan, Zain, because in the time I've known you, there hasn't been much for us to be.
I agree, but when you should be rebuilding, you gotta hold out on the happiness. Unfortunately,
you hold out on the happiness.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's segue into some TV and media. Jamal, you turned my wife into a fan of Lovecraft, bro. She is hooked on the show. Like, she told me this last one. She was like, "What time are you coming back? Because you're gonna need to see it tonight." Because she said it freaked her out.
Yeah, episode 8, man. So there are 2 episodes remaining in the season now. So we just finished up episode 8. I didn't touch on 7 last week. 7 was really good. A little more abstract than people are used to, but it had a great theme of kind of the matriarch of the series, Hippolyta, kind of discovering herself and time travel and kind of picking it into this Ori piece of the plot. So it was really good. Episode 8, though. So I've seen so much feedback. I've probably seen as much feedback on this episode as I have since maybe the season premiere. This one really shook people up. We talk about great black horror, like a good horror film. Episode 3 was great. I think this one surpassed it. This is now currently my favorite episode of the series. It opens with Emmett Till's funeral. And if anybody knows anything about U.S. history, especially blacks in history, Emmett Till's death and murder is probably one of the deepest stains on, I mean, let's be frank, on American history, right? And race relations in this country. His character was actually dropped into episode 3. There was an allusion to him going away from his home in Chicago down south to visit some family, and there was a forecasting of his death. If you know history, you know he was basically.
They had to have gotten a lot of consent for that. Would you think?
I don't. I'm kind of looking into that now because Jordan Peele. If you know Jordan Peele's work, the core of all of his work is race related, right? Get Out, Us, right? A lot of.
I always forget that he's the producer of the show. So
yeah.
You mentioning that answers a lot. So,
yeah.
So talented.
He's a beast, man. He's the best. He's the fucking best. So the young girl in this series.
Shout out Key and Peele.
Yeah, man. Yeah, who people used to clown because they like, oh, it's not Chappelle. Look at this motherfucker now, man. Those dudes are fucking doing it. So Dee, who is the girl in the series, her dad passed away. Her mom is through episode 7 has kind of disappeared into this other realm basically. And she's going to see her friend's funeral, right? And first people don't think she should go in, and Montrose, who's played by Michael K. Williams, is like, she needs to see this. Like, this is basically part of her a black's plight in this country right now. This is Black history. Like, we need to. It's kind of a rite of passage for her. She goes through it. It's a very kind of traumatic thing. And the way Jordan Peele, and I don't know if he's solely responsible for this, but the way he layers in music and scenes to kind of juxtapose. In this case, it was the heaviness and the sorrow of the funeral. But he's playing Cruel Summer, the '80s hit Cruel Summer.
Bananarama.
Yeah, over the scene, and it was like it's really well done.
That's crazy.
Long story short, Dee, after the funeral, she kind of slides off. She gets basically accosted by these 2 cops, one of which is trying to find out something related to this book that Dee wrote, a little comic book. She doesn't give up information on where her mom is because she doesn't fucking know. The cop puts a curse on her. And another racial trope that kind of surfaces here is the cop spits in his hand and curses her by wiping that on her face. Again, Black history, poor Black race relations. There's something about spitting in faces that obviously has a really bad mark on history. So after she gets cursed, these two little girls basically that have kind of disfigured faces and really wild looking pigtails follow her throughout the rest of the episode. They pop up in different places. They're creepy as shit. And when people talk about this episode, everybody's talking about how they were creeped out by the 2 little girls who were taken from Uncle Tom's cabin, Eva and Topsy. And so a girl with a white face and a girl with a black face. As creepy as they are, and as weird as this shit might sound, their choreography, whoever did the choreography with these little girls dancing around these different parts of the city was fucking dope as shit. So you're scared shitless looking at these girls, but you're like, damn, they kind of moving like pretty fucking good though, right? So they follow her throughout the episode and force her to kind of come around on confronting her fear, right? And it kind of closes with her at the end of the episode confronting the police officers that first, the first kind of cast his hex on her. In the background, we have our main protagonist, Tick, Atticus dealing with learning magic for the first time. He has a birthright of this magic, this magic spell that he learns. He has to give up something to learn a spell, and it ends up being he can cast essentially a monster to come out of the ground and protect him from these cops that almost killed him at the end of the episode.
Wait, you can't have a name like Atticus and not do some cool shit like that.
No,
right?
not at all. No.
A...
You can't be an accountant with the name Atticus. You gotta do some dope shit. You either got to kill somebody or run a 4.3 40-yard dash and get drafted. So, man, the episode was incredible. I'm still unpacking it. I think I mentioned it before, but each time I watch the episode once, I go listen to my supplementary podcast. I read some stuff, and then I come back to it. So I watched it twice already. But it was amazing, man. Some really good kind of racial reckoning moments. There was a scene with Ruby talking to Christina about, you don't fucking understand the racial gravity of this terrible funeral that's going on for a 14-year-old kid in the South Side of Chicago. You know, you're a white person. You can't understand what I'm going through. And there was another scene with Tick and Letty and him trying to get away and protect the family. But she's like, nah, motherfucker, you got a baby. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, you don't need to be out here experimenting with shit because you can ruin everything that we're starting to build. So a lot of good moments.
So it seems like one of Jordan Peele's motives in making the show is to really bring out the emotion of black pain.
Yeah.
In that era.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel? Especially when I mean, I kind of felt it when you were talking about the whole Emmett Till funeral, and you wouldn't understand like that. That whole you wouldn't understand mantra is big for people of color.
Yeah, what I see with this, and I completely agree, and I think you know, what's really poignant about Lovecraft as it relates to what we're going through now is that it always, in almost every episode, highlights the animus between white police and black people. There's this intrinsic fear of police and telling black people you need to stay in your place.
Right.
You know, is somebody bothering you? Are you supposed to be on this side of town? You know, a lot of that stuff. Again, it's still fresh and raw, like right now.
It's where they have the most power. So
Yeah.
So,
and what are we told, honestly? You know,
right on the streets,
so much of American history, as it relates to blacks and their experience in this country, from white people, and obviously I'm not painting with a broad brush here, but it's always understood that yes, it happened, and we acknowledge that it happened, but you as a black person cannot talk about it. And we will obviously touch on that again when we talk about certain people on Twitter and sports world. But the bottom line is Jordan is teaching you, and honestly teaching these sorts of historical moments is supposed to be a little uncomfortable. Yeah. You know, you're supposed to squirm a little bit. You're supposed to wince, right? Because this is really what fucking happened. So props to Jordan for creating what I think is, you know, it's going to be, I think it's going to surpass Watchmen for me. It's probably one of my, you know, top HBO series of all time because it's so well done, man. And I'm excited to see what they do with these last 2 episodes. So
don't worry, we got a few more HBO shows for you to watch.
We got to get him through the Godfathers first, man. Can we take our time here? He's got a lot of listening and shit to do though, man. To keep up with this podcast, or to do this podcast, to listen to all the podcasts you listen to, and then stay up on these shows like you do too.
And you have kids. How do you do it, Jamal? Where do you find the time?
Man,
I know someone who doesn't have the time.
Yeah, I know someone who doesn't have the time. Fucking Princess of Zenobia over here.
5-day birthday celebration and shit.
That's why.
Jamal, so you also saw the Challenger Shuttle series. I'm still not all the way through it, but the footage that they have, the amount of footage is just surprising.
Staggering, right?
I mean, it is. You would have thought back in the 80s, like 1980 to be exact, right? It was 81.
86. What the incident was in 86.
86. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was crazy. The one that stood out, I think we talked about this on the other podcast, was when they were taking the shuttle through the town.
Yeah.
And like moving it around with that lift, like it was insane.
It was, yeah. I mean, I think me and Joe were probably the only ones who were in school when it happened. I was in kindergarten, and I remember watching that in class. I was in Catholic school, and we were in class, and we were watching it. And I remember the teachers that turn the lights out in the middle of the day when you were watching like something on TV or film and shit. And I remember where I was sitting, like on the carpet, Indian style, and watching the shuttle explode. And I was like, my 6-year-old brain was like, that ain't fucking right. You know what I mean?
Oh, my.
Yeah, I was still 5, actually. I was like, that didn't seem right. And I remember the teacher kind of rushing to turn the TV off. And, you know, this one of these things that happened, but we were so young, I didn't really probe into it. And every few years or so, I kind of, you know, think back to the incident and what kind of went in behind it. But yeah, you're right in that all the archival footage of not only the explosion from a million different angles, but also the training of this gigantic cohort of people they brought into the space program. You know, Ronald Reagan really wanted to diversify the program. It was such a proud thing for the United States to have. So, they brought in more women. They brought in, Ronald Reagan wanted a teacher in it, right? So they had three or four teachers that, tried out to be in the program. They had a black man, Ronald McNair. So all these people,
Indian woman.
Yeah, all these people that I'd kind of heard about over years, but really getting into seeing behind the scenes footage of them in their training facilities, right?
Right.
Running out and hopping in a basket and going underwater and, putting on the suits and getting in a pool. Like all that stuff was really, really interesting to see. And it's always something that's kind of really eerie about seeing footage of somebody that has passed away, and these last months and years leading up to that incident.
Mm-hmm.
Them having the families of all the astronauts co-located for the last, I guess, week or so before the launch, and just this kind of ominous feeling of engineers who built the shuttle saying that, hey, we might have a problem with these O-rings and these other things that don't quite look right, and there's documented proof that we needed to blow the whistle on it. And then NASA saying, fuck that, like we got a calendar we need to stick to, we're gonna go ahead and do this thing. And it was 53 degrees in Florida the day of the launch, and they identified danger with it. There were fucking icicles all over the shuttle, and things just weren't right, but they wanted so badly to push this through on schedule because it was so much pomp and circumstance surrounding the launch. And to see the aftermath of, me learning things, I didn't know, I thought everybody essentially died in the air. I didn't know that piece of the shuttle stayed intact and went down into the ocean. I didn't know it was retrieved later with all the bodies still strapped in, I didn't know there was a panel commissioned by Reagan after the incident, and they had so many different, they had a physicist, they had, so many different people. And we talk about government, what's old is new again. They had people on the panel that had no fucking business on the panel, didn't have the right experience, the right qualifications, but they were handpicked by certain people in the administration. So it's kind of sad to see how that one incident really knocked the space shuttle program off its course, no pun intended.
It's almost surprising that it was able to even reestablish itself at some point after. It's like a fucking mess, man.
And I forgot about the shuttle in, what was it, 2003? Was it
Columbia?
Columbia, the one that just didn't make it back on its descent. I was like, I forgot about that shit. So it was good, man. It's only 4 episodes. I recommend people check it out. It was pretty dope.
Lakers up 7, by the way, with 25 seconds left.
It's a wrap.
Oh.
Lakers up 3-1 in the series.
LeBron checked Jimmy though. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, we knew it was gonna happen. We just didn't want to
on that man.
Root for it.
I can't say nothing about that.
Well, since it looks like we're gonna have a game to close this series out, Thursday?
I think it might be
Friday. Friday?
Push it. Let me see.
I think that's a perfect time to talk about how many people will be watching that. So let's get into our final segment, detention.
Oh boy.
We're just going to toss one up here. You guys have 5 minutes to absolutely roast the fuck out of Clay Travis. I don't think any of you will disappoint here. I'm gonna throw the meat into the arena and then just allow you guys to go and attack.
Rip it to shreds.
Go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Clay Travis says the NBA ratings are similar to Tucker Carlson's show. Ready? Go.
Fuck Clay Travis. I'm gonna just start there. There's this cohort of dickheads on Twitter. That's why I don't fuck with Twitter. I know y'all said I need to be on there. Fuck that shit. Because it's a cesspool of the worst.
I understand.
The worst people. Clay Travis is on this agenda. First of all, Jason Whitlock went to work for his outlet, Outkick Sports, which is basically it's fucking MAGA sports. Like he's auditioning for Trump TV for if and when Trump loses, so he can get his own spot there. It makes no sense. Him and this other guy, Bobby Barack or some shit like that, are on this agenda to shit on the NBA because they are upset that the NBA is pushing social justice messages, right? Mm-hmm. So if you take a knee, you ever hear that dumbass conservative hashtag get woke, go broke? If you take a knee and you, God forbid, speak about the plight of black people in this country, then you deserve to lose all your viewership. So every 3, 4, 5 times a week, Clay Travis is pushing this narrative that because of kneeling, let's just take this one variable, right? God forget, fuck the fact that we're in a pandemic and TV ratings have been going down for years and people are fucking sad and depressed, and there's others elections, all that shit. None of that matters because you took a knee. Your viewership deserves to take a serious decline, and they really think the NBA is going to go bankrupt in a year or two, which is fucking asinine. But here's some other numbers. Stanley Cup viewership down 61%. Kentucky Derby viewership down 43%. U.S. Open golf down 56%. Indy 500 viewership down 32%. But sure, let's single out the NBA and say that they deserve to fail because of, again, just being vocal about things that are going on in
Jamal,
the nation.
why are you being so logical right now and rational?
I hate it, man.
Do you know who
usually,
you're talking to?
usually conservatives on Twitter don't bother me. I look at it as entertainment, but this shit fucks with me. And he keeps like tagging Mark Cuban and shit. I'm sorry.
You listen. You already like subtly pointed out what the whole situation is. These people aren't concerned with NBA ratings. They're only concerned with using some sort of bullshit metric to support their bullshit narrative that because the NBA is pushing social justice awareness and have this Black Lives Matter movement going on, it's off-putting for other Americans. Mm-hmm. That's the narrative they're pushing by pushing these. Clay Travis is one of the most dishonest dipshits on the internet. And I hope you took out most of my fucking 5 minutes because I don't really want to waste too much of my breath on him.
No, I guess.
But he's got a PhD in pushing these false equivalencies, false narratives about and that, on top of that, downplaying racial issues as a whole. And I say that I've mentioned this probably 100 times on Twitter when his name comes up because it always sticks out to me.
Yeah.
But Adam Jones for the Orioles gets called the N-word by a bunch of Red Sox fans. And it, remember that stuff, right?
I remember that. Yep.
And Travis and Clay's whole retort was, "Oh, you're a rich black man. If you're allowing yourself to get bothered by a bunch of hecklers, and then proceeded to compare that situation to him getting heckled by Twitter trolls. Like to him, that's what it is.
It's asinine.
He's got a base. He knows who the base is.
He
He's not
plays
even a
directly to
sports
it.
analyst. He doesn't even analyze sports. His whole thing is gambling for the most part. When it's either controversial issues, off the court, off the field type shit.
Yeah, it's gambling, college football, and then
gambling, college
fuck
football,
LeBron James. Yeah,
right.
And fuck Jason Whitlock's fat fucking head ass.
And for Whitlock, it was the perfect platform because he can be Clay Travis's little obedient pup. Because in Clay Travis's brain and his mind, racism is a myth. It does not exist.
It is. And especially it's a myth if you're a black athlete with money, you should be impervious to it, right? Ignoring the fact that black people in this country don't have multi-generational wealth. That's never been a thing for us as a race, period.
Exactly. And the whole NBA ratings thing, it's part of the whole diversion along with what about China? It's showing their blatant offense, the blatant offense that they're taking by a bunch of black guys, a bunch of black athletes raising awareness about social injustice, racial injustice, cop brutality. And they take offense to that saying, oh, that bothers you? Well, what about China?
Yeah. What about China? Yeah.
What about? I hate people who say what about.
And by the way, I'm glad you pointed me that
if you weren't concerned about China before the BLM movement, if I never heard you speak about China and the sweatshops and this, that, and the other before BLM, and it was BLM that caused you to bring up China.
Yeah, your agenda's clear.
You got offended.
But what about black on black crime?
Yeah, what about Chicago?
Yeah,
what about
Chicago?
What about 10,000 babies got murdered?
So that's my whole thing. Don't be a dishonest dipshit. Don't be a dishonest dipshit. You know the narrative you're pushing. It's not about China. It's not about the fucking TV viewership.
It's not about Dwayne Haskins. You know what that shit about.
It's about 48-year-old Rodney in Nebraska who said he's never watching the game. Shut the fuck up. Motherfucker, you couldn't name 3 shoe brands. You never watched no fucking NBA. The fuck out of my face.
So just to rile you guys up more, Clay Travis 5 hours ago on Twitter tweets, Adam Silver says NBA social justice warrior messages on the court and jerseys will be gone next season. Yeah. NBA sees the rating collapse and knows they are destroying their business. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Anyways, I did not expect them to.
This notion that conservatives need to win them over for their business. Fuck you. I don't
This is a whole illusion.
It's such bullshit.
This is the meaning of, correlation does not mean causation when it comes to stats. You know, the ratings, like you said, Jamal, they're going down. They're going down everywhere. It's not this that's causing this.
Yeah. You need to give overtures to the racists in Oklahoma to win them back. Motherfucker ain't watched a game since McHale. Like, get the fuck out of my face.
When I watched NBA in the '80s, things were a lot different.
Yeah,
nowadays.
those guys just played the game. They didn't take a knee. They loved America.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, fucking Kareem was getting damn near spat on.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
And I was watching Ty Cobb back on the.
Ty Cobb, he was a
Fuck
back
Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Hank Aaron was thankful to play in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Fuck
my.
up.
Oh, I was thinking Ty Detmer. I really missed him.
Ty.
was like,
I was like,
Ty
is he
Cobb?
serious? Is like Ty Cobb in the NFL?
Ty Detmer.
Well,
And his
was
brother
like, what?
Coy. And his brother Coy. Neither played in the Super Bowl, by the way.
He's stupid.
Oh man.
Stupid. Guys, we went super long on this show, but I there was two things I wanted to make sure we did. We didn't cut into Zane's Redskins or Washington football rant, and then Jamal, the Lovecraft. I loved how you kind of broke that thing down into the much bigger social justice aspect of it. That really actually was insightful. And then, guys, the Clay Travis
valuation.
Well, I just wanted to explain why I let you guys go on, because I could have cut this thing off like a couple times in different spots, but I did appreciate all the knowledge that you guys dropped tonight. Next week we'll be back at it doing the same thing, same bat time, same bat channel, same clowns in this box right here.
Yeah.
Neil, it's not your birthday next week, is it?
Not until December.
All right, we'll have to find something else to talk about in home room. Until then, I'm Joe, Abdullah, Zain, Jamal, Neil. Peace.